3 doors down so you can't ignore it.
Hi, Grandma. Have you heard from Mom?
There's like a part of me that knows I should feel bad, but I can't feel anything for it. What do I do?
I'm not gonna get a birthday or Christmas, and disowned by my entire family.
Dude, I'm not even getting to work tomorrow.
Shh. Someone's about to get fired. I'll hunt you down like Tyrannosaurus.
On the afternoon of November 2nd, 2018, Volusia County officers responded to what was initially reported as a routine burglary call. Unbeknownst to them, they were about to uncover one of the most disturbing cases the county had ever faced.
911, where's your emergency?
I just got home, and my house is completely trashed. It looks like someone broke in the side door.
Okay, how long have you been gone?
I've been gone all school day.
Are you there by yourself?
Yeah.
How old are you?
15.
I need you to take a deep breath. I'm going to ask you a few questions, okay?
Okay. My mom's car is here and it's on, and she's not home. And she's supposed to go to work today, and I can't find her.
Okay. Your mom's car is there. Is there any other way she ever get to work? Does she ever get a ride from anyone else?
The car is on. It's turned on.
The car is on, and you're sure she is not there?
I searched the entire place. I've been here for like 8 minutes. I've been looking.
Okay.
I can't find her.
I'm right here with you, okay? What's your name?
All right. My full name is Gregory Logan Ramos.
Is there anybody that has made any threats to your mom or to you?
No.
While a 15-year-old named Gregory spoke with a 911 operator, officers arrived at his residence to investigate.
Gail.
I copy, thank you.
Elaine Clevenger. Where does she work?
She works at an architecture firm up in Orlando.
Is she normally home this time of day?
No, she gets home at 6:30.
Does
Okay.
she actually leave for work before you?
She dropped me off, and then she usually just heads back to the Sunrail and hops in the train with her bike. And
Does anybody else live here once again?
my dad and my 2 step-siblings.
Where are they at?
My dad is on a business trip in Seattle. He'll be back this afternoon at 6:30.
Okay.
And then the 2 stepchildren have their moms.
Okay.
But everything is gone. Like, except for like the mounted TV on my wall, there's everything is gone.
Hoping to piece together what had happened, 2 officers conducted a walkthrough of the home. What they encountered was far from a typical break-in. The interior of the house had been ransacked beyond recognition. Bedrooms were torn apart, with closets emptied and their contents scattered across the floor. In the kitchen, every cabinet had been flung open, including those beneath the sink. Shards of broken glass blanketed the floor, the result of deliberate destruction of the family's dishware.
That's weird. Why is there all this crap up here spilled? There's a broken glass here. Why is all this broken, dude?
The extent of the damage suggested more than a simple burglary. It appeared personal, almost vindictive, as if someone had targeted Gregory's mother, Gail, or the family itself. As officers prepared to escort the teenager back to the station for his comfort and safety during the investigation, a neighbor approached them, ready to provide information that would soon alter the course of the case.
Just say I do have a key to their house, but I haven't been up here since yesterday evening, or after you and I spoke.
Yeah.
I talked to his parents.
Okay.
As I told them, this young man has some depression problems really bad.
Has she had any issues with him lately? Or?
No, not that I know of.
As the investigation continued at the residence, Gregory was transported to the station for support and safety. Seeking reassurance, he reached out to Ken Jones, his mentor through the Police Explorers program, a youth initiative designed for teenagers interested in law enforcement to gain experience while assisting their local sheriff's office. Ken quickly arrived at the station, sitting down with Gregory in what would later become never-before-seen footage. This interaction was later analyzed by a team of specialists, including a licensed professional counselor, an attorney, a former detective, a retired polygraph examiner, and a former hostage negotiation commander. During their conversation, Ken worked to calm Gregory, yet he couldn't help but notice visible bruises on the boy's face.
What happened here? I got in a fight yesterday with one of my friends. I didn't see that yesterday. I had makeup on. Right.
It was a conversation with my friends. We got into a disagreement, but I solved the problem. I talked it out with him, and we made up, and he apologized for hitting me, and I accepted his apology.
What was his name?
We hugged it out. My friend, Joe.
Joe? Does the SRD know about the fight?
The who?
The SRD resource officer.
No, there was no fight. He just came up. He's like, Greg, and I was like, what? He kind of punched me. He's like, what the hell, dude? I didn't hit back or anything. It was just, and I was like, okay, well, calm down. Let's talk it out. We talked it out. And it was just,
What's Joe's last name?
I don't know.
So he's your friend. To be honest with me, Craig, what's his last name?
I don't know his last name.
Who does know his name?
I don't know. Point of the matter is, though, we made up. It was just a conversation that happened. It wasn't anything too important. We talked it out, and we hugged, and it was like, dude, I'm sorry. I made a mistake, and he was justified. And I said, I'm sorry for making that mistake.
What time this happened yesterday?
Ballpark of the afternoon.
But I saw you like what? What time did you get out of the fair? Like out there at 7. Okay. I just see that you put makeup on it before you came out.
Yeah. Some concealer.
Why would you do that?
Because I didn't want to work traffic detail with scars on my face.
I guess that's reasonable.
As their dialogue continued, Gregory's concern seemed to focus on his mother, Gail.
Do you know if any developments have been made, if anything happened?
They're going to tell you everything that goes on. But I'm trying to make sure that you are the right one. Because, when you called me, you were very upset.
So it's just all no bad situation.
Okay. Well, she had called me earlier. I could have come down here earlier with you. That's why I wanted to come down here and make sure that you're okay. Look at me for a second. No matter what's happened, it's very important that whatever it is, that you're up front and honest. Even remember what Joe's last name is.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's important. So what we act upon, and when you tell us things, is what we're going to do. I know. We got to be able to trust you.
However, his behavior struck investigators as unusual. Ken, taking on the role of a father figure, urged Gregory to look at him and to speak truthfully. In contrast, Gregory sat with his arms crossed, appearing detached and uneasy. At just 15 years old, one might expect panic, frantic questions, and an overwhelming worry for his mother's safety. Instead, he displayed an unsettling calm that seemed out of place given the circumstances.
I'm not saying you're not telling the truth. I'm just saying for some reason you don't want to tell me Joe's name. And I don't know why. Why wouldn't you want to tell me Joe? I'm not going to go run after Joe and get him in trouble. But that's just,
I know you are.
That's kind of like a question to make sure that you're going to be honest with me.
I do have my full cooperation. It's just I don't want an unrelated incident to be drawn into the more important.
Well, we may need to make sure it is unrelated. We need to make sure that the people didn't come there and hurt you too. Is that possible?
No, it's not.
Okay. All right.
If it was, I would have voiced my concerns already.
Okay. That's fair. But we want to make sure that you're okay.
I'm fine.
Because these guys are going to ask you a lot of questions. They're going to be hard questions. It's going to be a lot harder than me asking you what that guy's name is.
Okay.
And I don't want you to put up any walls. I want you to just tell them exactly what happened.
I'll answer all their questions. I'm ready.
Once Gregory appeared more at ease, Sergeant Pagliari entered the room to begin the formal interview.
A couple of things. As you can see, I see that you keep looking at my recorder, so everything that I do obviously is recorded, okay? Plus you see the camera up in the thing there.
Gregory was read his rights as part of standard procedure. In Florida, there is no legal requirement for a parent to be present during the interrogation of a minor. The law does, however, mandate that a parent or legal guardian be notified when a minor is taken into custody, though this obligation does not extend to delaying questioning if contact cannot be made. Importantly, Miranda rights apply to minors in Florida in the same way they do to adults. With these formalities addressed, Sergeant Pagliari began gathering background information about Gregory's mother, as well as some recent disciplinary issues at school.
How would you say your relationship is with your mom?
It has its ups and downs.
Okay.
I think everyone argues a little bit with their mom.
Okay.
We love each other a lot, and I really hope she's okay.
Have you ever been in trouble with the law before or anything?
No, sir.
No? Okay. How about trouble in school? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Having his sponsor present in the room should have offered Gregory a sense of reassurance. Yet his body language told a different story. His arms were locked tightly across his chest, his posture closed off, and his non-verbal signals clashed with his spoken words, signs of deep anxiety. Considering the circumstances, his missing mother and a ransacked home, such unease might seem natural. Still, something about Gregory's demeanor felt unusual. Instead of displaying the fear and vulnerability expected of a 15-year-old, he seemed intent on shaping how he was perceived.
And I'm just getting background before we get into things. That's all I'm trying to do here. So, like, trouble at school, like how?
So I'm trying to think about when it was. Last month, I got ISS and OSS for a day.
What is that, sir? I don't know.
ISS is in-school suspension. OSS is out-of-school suspension.
Okay. Why? What happened?
The weekend beforehand, my friend was feeling ill. So I snuck out of my house to go talk to him. And I talked with him, and my friend smoked cigarettes, and he gave me some to take home with me. I put some in my backpack, and I forgot to take them out. So when I was searched randomly at my school, they were found.
And how'd your mom feel about that?
She was not happy. But we worked out a solution, which was me going to do community service for my church.
Okay. You talk about ups and downs in your mom's relationship, right? So that would probably be one of the downs, I would assume.
No, because she was justified in her anger. That was my fault. But previously, my mom has done things that were not justified.
You want to tell me about those?
All you really need to know is it was just impulse. It wasn't anything serious.
He positioned himself as someone willing to admit fault if necessary, but at the same time attempted to assert control over the conversation, telling the officers, all you really need to know. For a teenager in his situation, this confidence and defiance was strikingly bold.
Okay. I'm not here to get your mom in trouble, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right. So if you think that what you're going to tell me is going to negatively affect what I think about your mother, that's not it at all.
It's just hard for me to talk about.
Okay.
With a clearer sense of Gregory's demeanor, Sergeant Pagliari shifted focus to establishing a timeline of events from the day before the reported burglary.
Who stayed at your house last night?
Who was at my house last night?
Yeah.
When asked simple questions, Gregory often repeated them back before answering, an unusual habit that gave him extra time to carefully craft his responses. This behavior stood out as a red flag. The questions were straightforward and did not require deep thought.
Me and my mother.
Okay. All right. Now, Detective Jones was talking to you, and I was, again, listening. You were at a fair or something yesterday?
Yesterday, I was working parking detail for the Orange City Police Explorers. I was helping park cars at the Volusia County Fair.
Do you know what time you came home last night?
8:47, maybe?
Why so specific?
That's just a time I remember, probably from looking at my phone. The thing with the traffic detail ended early. It was supposed to go until 9, but I think it ended a bit early. And so I got home around just closer to 9. So, yeah.
Mom was home?
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys, when you got home, conversation with Mom, ask how your day was, anything?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Good.
Okay.
We talked, we ate dinner.
What'd you guys have for dinner?
I don't remember.
You don't remember what you had?
No.
It must not have been very eventful.
No, it was just like every other night.
Adding to the suspicion, his reply of good carried a slight upward inflection, a subtle marker of uncertainty.
When you got home, conversation with Mom, ask how your day was, anything?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Good.
Gregory's answers remained short and vague, yet he seemed intent on stressing that the previous night was just like every other night. Paradoxically, the insistence only fueled doubt, as his tone and body language suggested that something about the evening had been anything but ordinary.
So Mom doesn't make good food? Because it seems to me dinner's never eventful. Is that what you're telling me?
I know.
Because when I find her and tell her, I'm going to say, listen, Greg says dinner's uneventful. You think she's going to be upset with me or upset with you when she says that?
Maybe.
A few moments in the exchange proved especially telling. At one point, Gregory gave a strikingly precise answer, 8:47, demonstrating that his memory could be sharp when he chose. Later, the detective, recognizing Gregory's guarded behavior, attempted to ease the tension with light-hearted remarks. But when the subject turned to his mother, the shift in Gregory's demeanor was unmistakable. Instead of showing relief or hope at the mention of finding her, he displayed signs of heightened anxiety, an unsettling reaction that hinted at deeper truths yet to be revealed.
He said she goes off on you for other stuff, so I don't want her to go off on you for that.
Fine. Sure. Whatever.
It's whatever. How do you deal with it when she goes off on you?
I've gotten better at it.
You've gotten better at it?
I used to get really angry and emotional, but I've kind of realized that's not worth it.
Well, that's the only way to deal with it. The worst thing to do would be what, put your hands on her?
I would never do something like that.
You would never put your hands on your mom?
No. And I think I've made that point quite clear to her. We had an argument a couple months ago. It was like a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And she sat me across the room because she didn't trust me. And I told her I could, yell and scream and yell all I want, do the exact same stuff you did to me, but I'd never lay my hands on you. Never. That's just not something I do.
Gregory repeatedly insisted that he would never lay a hand on his mother, even going so far as to offer character references about himself. His effort to project the image of a calm, non-violent teenager was striking, especially considering that, at this point, his mother was simply missing. The question lingered. Why did he feel the need to emphasize his innocence so strongly? As Sergeant Pagliari pressed forward with constructing a timeline, odd details began to emerge.
Okay, what happened this morning?
I slept in. My alarm was not set. She woke me up around 6:20. I sleep in my clothes.
So what you're wearing right now is what you wore to school?
No, I changed shirts when I got home.
Okay.
I was sweaty.
One such detail was Gregory's mention of changing his shirt after discovering the burglary and his mother's disappearance. Under such distressing circumstances, why would something so trivial come to mind? The inconsistencies continued.
But your pants and shoes are the same?
Yes.
And your socks? You got you?
Yeah.
Okay. So 6:20 you slept in, okay? Mom came woke you up. Fired up, huh?
She wasn't angry.
Okay. So tell me what happened.
She's like, okay, you gotta get up now. Go brush your teeth and pile in the car. So I grabbed my backpack. I went and brushed my teeth, took out my retainer, kind of messed with my hair a bit, and then I got in the car.
So what time do you think you got to school?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Can't look at your phone?
It's probably in the ballpark of like 6:40.
Okay.
Only minutes earlier, Gregory had recalled the exact minute he arrived home, 8:47. Yet when asked about his arrival at school that morning, he suddenly claimed to have no idea.
Talk to anybody when you got there? Hey, what's up? You got friends at school?
Yes.
Who'd you talk to? First person you saw at school was who?
First person I saw.
Mm-hmm.
The contrast was unsettling. At one point, Gregory briefly shifted his guarded posture. He lowered his arms, leaned forward, and wrung his hands together, an uncharacteristic movement that seemed to betray discomfort. Almost as quickly, he closed himself off again, as though retreating back into a shell. Something in the line of questioning had struck a nerve.
Probably my friend Kat. Kat? Yeah.
Boy or girl?
Female.
You got a last name?
No.
Who's your friend? You don't know her last name?
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I don't really got that many friends. I'm not like a super social person.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
I have a lot of acquaintances that I have that I've either A, had a class with in the past, or B, have class with now, or C, I know from elsewhere. And so, yeah.
Okay. No worries, man. No worries. I get that. What's your first period class, buddy?
Biology.
Who's that teacher?
Mr. Olstowski.
Biology. Biology. What building is that? Room, building, and everything else, you know?
Building 3.
Mm-hmm.
403.
403 is the room?
Well, building 3, floor 3.
Oh, floor 3.
I don't know the room number.
You want to take a stab at spelling the last name of that teacher?
Latssoy, or maybe W, and ski, I guess.
Man, woman?
He's a guy.
Guy. Okay. You like him?
He's
good
alright.
Teacher?
I have a D in his class.
You have a D?
Yeah.
How's Mom feel about that?
We had an argument about it last night.
Oh. Tell me about that.
We talked about it. Basically, she's like, I can't be doing this. And I was like, well, I got all A's and B's last quarter. I can pull my grade up before the end of the semester. And she was like, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Don't act so cocky. I'm like, I'm not. I just know I'm capable of doing things like that.
Sergeant Pagliari, experienced in behavioral observation, took careful note. The subtle contradictions, the selective memory, and the flashes of unease all suggested that Gregory's story might not be as straightforward as he wanted it to appear.
One thing you said you'd like being you want to be a detective someday. And in my personal experience, when people start a story and then they go into the blah, blah, blah part, that there's more to the blah, blah, blah. So if you will, Greg, tell me what the blah, blah, blah part was for this argument.
Okay, well, basically, she was just kind of like, whatever. You act narcissistic sometimes. Don't be so cocky.
The use of the word basically often signals that a person may be leaving something out. When combined with Gregory's nonverbal behaviors, such as self-soothing gestures like rubbing his head, scratching, possible eye blocking, and keeping one hand tightly across his stomach in a protective posture, the signs pointed to mounting anxiety.
I was like, well, I'm not cocky. I'm capable. I feel like I have the skills because I've done it before to fix my grades in a short amount of time. And I was like, I probably could fix them by Friday and stuff, and just talking with her about that. And she was like, all right, whatever, go study your biology. And I was like, all right. So I studied my biology for about an hour, and then I went into her room, and she was on the phone with Dad. I said hi to Dad, and then they hung up, and then I said a prayer with her for a good night, and that hour, whatever, for our family members, for Grandma, for Uncle Joe, and stuff like that.
Another telling pattern was his frequent use of "and then." When people recount events this way, often repeating the phrase, it can indicate they're running through their story as if it were a list of bullet points, skipping over details and leaving gaps between the ands.
And I was like, I probably could fix them by Friday. And so I studied my biology for about an hour, and then I went into her room, and she was on the phone with Dad. I said hi to Dad, and then they hung up, and then I said a prayer with her for a good night, and that hour, whatever, for our family members, for Grandma, for Uncle Joe, and stuff like that.
Observers would need to pay close attention each time Gregory used that phrase as the questioning unfolded.
And then I kissed her, and I went to sleep. Okay. And that was I went to sleep around 11. That is when I woke up late.
Okay. When was the first time somebody called you about, or did anyone call you about your mother not being at work or anything like that?
I received no communication from anyone about that.
Okay.
When the conversation turned to his school day, Gregory portrayed it as completely ordinary. But when Sergeant Pagliari asked what he discovered upon returning home that afternoon, Gregory's body language shifted. He fidgeted with his fingers, shifted his posture, and rubbed his arm. Classic self-soothing behaviors. While such reactions might be expected from anyone confronted with the shock of a ransacked home, they did not go unnoticed by the detective.
How long would you say it takes you to get from the bus stop to your house?
10 to 15 minutes.
Okay. You weren't running or anything today, were you?
No.
Okay.
As the questions grew more specific, Gregory displayed even more physical signs of discomfort. His leg moved into a barrier position, his body angled away, and his gestures became increasingly self-protective. These anchor point shifts, paired with his verbal patterns, suggested that this particular line of questioning was pushing him into deeper unease.
Front door was locked, you used the key. Mom's car was in the driveway?
Correct.
And you told Detective Jones it was running?
It was running.
Is that odd?
Yes.
Is it odd the fact that your mom's car is even there at all?
Yes.
Why?
Because she parks at the Sunrail station, and then she takes her bike on the Sunrail to go to her job.
How does Mom usually get home?
6:30.
Car's in the driveway and it's running. That's weird. Car's there at all. It's weird. You agree?
Yes.
So now you used the key and you opened the door. What did you do? What's the first thing you do when you went inside?
Well, I noticed that there was all over the floor, like just a bunch of crap that were strewn everywhere, and the closet doors were open, and there was stuff spilled on my table. I just noticed that the front view of my house was chaotic.
Spilled on the table where?
I don't know. On the table.
What room's the table?
Oh, it's my house. You go through the front door, and there's this hallway. My room is this way, and then there's our dining room table right here.
Okay. Gotcha.
And the next thing I did was we went in my room, and I noticed that there were things missing, and that there was dressers and crap, all that crap just pulled out and strewn everywhere.
What's missing from your room?
Mainly, I didn't really look thoroughly for everything that was missing from my room, but I noticed 3 things in particular.
What are those?
My stereo system.
Describe what they are. So 3 things. Stereo system. What's that?
It's like a radio with 2 large speakers, and it lights up LED blue.
Do you know who makes it?
Zero Club.
Zero Club is pretty popular.
Yeah, I know.
What's the other thing that you're missing?
My gaming computer.
Is it describe it to me?
It is white. It has a glass side, and inside you can see the wires and the graphics cards and all that stuff inside, and it glows LED blue.
So it's like a tower, not a laptop?
It is, yeah. It's a big boy.
It's attached to a monitor. That's how you play?
Yeah. I paid with it for all my own money from summer jobs and stuff.
Must be pretty pissed off that's gone.
Yes.
I'd be pissed off. You spent all your money that you earned to buy this computer tower, now it's gone?
Well, I'm more pissed off that my mom is gone.
Rightfully so. Get that.
This moment stands out. Gregory avoids showing anger about his missing belongings, instead deflecting the focus back onto his mother. On the surface, it paints the image of a concerned teenager, but the delivery feels somewhat forced, almost as if he's trying too hard to appear appropriately worried.
What's the third thing?
I noticed I have a 25, I forget the weight on it, but it's a hunting legal combat bow.
It's compact
bow.
Give me a minute. Good. I think it's a phone call for actually someone needs to talk to me. You can talk to Detective Jones.
When Sergeant Pagliari steps out to make phone calls, Gregory engages in conversation with Detective Jones.
When do you think my house will not be a crime scene?
I don't know. Sometimes it takes hours, sometimes it takes almost a day and a half.
I know you've worked cases like this before.
I have. It takes a while sometimes. And the more information you can give them, the better off it is.
Yeah.
They need to know what to do, where to go.
I made a lot of bad decisions in my life with regards to other things.
Yeah.
And it's just...
One of his responses instantly catches the detective's attention, prompting Jones to shift into what's known as the confession position. Gregory, seemingly realizing the weight of his words, quickly backtracks, clarifying that he was speaking about other things. Still, the exchange raises questions. What must his sponsor have been thinking in that moment?
Now, my mom's gone. Like, I don't make that reconcile with myself.
Well, why would you think that's the case?
Because no one knows where the hell she is. Why would a home invade or take hostage?
Somebody knows.
I hope my mom is okay.
Yeah, I do too, Greg.
I can't imagine what it'd be like.
Love your mom, don't you? After you guys had your argument with her last night, if she was here right now, what would you say to her?
I would just feel like such a dick after every argument we have. It just makes me angry because we don't understand each other because we're different.
Then comes Gregory's critical mistake. In a slip of the tongue, he hints not only at what may have happened to his mother, but also at the possibility that he knows more than he has admitted. Almost immediately, he tries to cover by breaking into tears. But the performance feels fractured. His attention briefly drifts as he brushes his hair from his face, undermining the sincerity of his emotions. Detective Jones helps calm him, but the tension lingers. When Sergeant Pagliari returns with more questions, Gregory appears almost too eager to continue his version of events.
So you were talking about going through the house. You went down, took some inventory.
Well, after I went downstairs looking for my mom and didn't find her, I went back upstairs and I decided I needed to check on my dog.
In fact, his urgency overtakes him, and he interrupts the detective mid-sentence, an unusual display for a teenager supposedly reeling from trauma.
Going through the house, you went down, took some inventory.
Well, after I went downstairs,
Gregory appeared pressured to walk through his every move upon arriving home, explaining his actions in detail. This struck investigators as unusual. An innocent person rarely feels the need to justify themselves step by step. For them, the truth is simple. It is what it is.
If the house was broken into, robbed, I thought there was a good chance they killed my dog. But, I mean, I didn't know he doesn't bark that much, but I didn't know if they were going to do that or if, whatever. I didn't know what was going to happen. So I walked into the laundry room and I saw everything was displaced, right? But my dog was fine. And that's when I noticed the door. The door, here, I can stand up and show you.
You want to stand up and show me? Okay.
So, let's say this is the knob for the door, and there's a deadbolt here. The deadbolt was unlocked, right? And this was locked. But this entire wooden area on this frame was it looked like it had been busted open. like the force of the door was so powerful that it had literally broken the wood. I recognized that as someone kicking in the door.
Gregory, on the other hand, seemed compelled to demonstrate and over-explain, a behavior more consistent with nervous energy than with straightforward recollection.
Why do you think that?
Because either that or they somehow forced the door open, but it had to be a strong enough force to break this, to break a lock, basically. It had to be strong enough to do that.
Sure. So, did you think that,
yeah,
the force and everything you're talking about here is just because of that, based off your explorer training?
There's common sense.
Common sense?
I'm just assuming, just thinking out loud, you have to be able to be, either strong enough or there needs to be, a certain amount of force for the wood, a door frame to, basically, crack and, make the lock give out.
Sure.
As he sketched a layout of the house for Sergeant Pagliari, Gregory noted something peculiar about his mother's bedroom.
I made it to the master bedroom, and it was just really bad. It was terrible in there. And one thing I noticed was that the bed was at an angle.
What's it supposed to be?
It's supposed to be straight on.
Okay. Now,
there's a dresser here. There's a dresser here. There's a couple bookshelves, and there's a mirror here, and then there's a dresser here. And then that's the bathroom going on. But that bed was out of place. That's one of the major things I noticed, was that the bed was out of place.
His willingness to discuss such details marked a noticeable shift. Suddenly, he was far more open when speaking about things unrelated to his mother's disappearance.
So after I surveyed the house and looked for my mom, I called the cops. I'm pretty sure you know the rest of the story.
Yeah. Did you see, okay. There's one thing I want to ask you about. You said you came home from school and you wore different clothes to school. So you went through the whole house, you did all this surveying and everything. At what point did you think it was pertinent to change your clothes?
All right, let me tell you. So I was sweating my ass off, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was really hot, and
instead of offering direct answers, Gregory began weaving long, drawn-out stories to justify even minor actions. This tendency to over-explain served as another signal of underlying anxiety.
I told my family, I think I told you this, but I got in the house and I felt sick. I couldn't find my mom. I was freaking out. I was not in a good place. And so I went to my bathroom and I threw up in the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
And I then proceeded to flush the throw up down. And then I took off my school shirt and then I changed it to a different shirt. I didn't know if there was any throw up on it or not, but I was feeling hot and sweaty and I needed to change the color.
Where's the shirt at now?
It's in my hamper.
Where's that?
In my room.
Okay.
Before delving deeper into Gregory's account, Sergeant Pagliari sought to clarify one final point. If Gregory's responses had seemed unusual up to this stage, what came next would prove even stranger.
Detective Jones was talking about the marks to your face, and
correct.
I want to talk about that a little bit more, Greg.
All right.
When did that happen?
Can I ask what relevance this has to the conversation?
Everything is relevant, Greg.
At one point, Gregory questioned the relevance of certain inquiries. It was an unexpected move, something more likely to come from a seasoned criminal attempting to deflect, or from an experienced adult with legal counsel rather than from a teenager. The comment carried an unusual awareness, almost as if Gregory were probing for information himself. He didn't sound like a worried child. He sounded like a defense attorney.
They're going to say, hey, listen, Greg's mother's missing. Greg has marks on his face. Is it possible that Greg got in some kind of altercation with his mother? Right? They're going to ask me that.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I need to explain when you got those marks on your face.
All right.
Good. When?
Yesterday.
Yesterday? What time?
After school.
Where at?
Student parking lot.
Okay. Who did it?
My friend Joe.
What's his last name?
It starts with an L.
You have a class with him?
No. He's older than me, but he's what? He's older than me?
Older than you. Okay. Joe L. Older. White male, black male, Hispanic male.
White.
Okay. What grade do you think Joe L is in?
He's a junior.
How long have you known him?
Year and a half.
Okay.
Not gonna explain the situation to you because it probably looks like I got my ass beat.
Go ahead, please. Tell me what happened.
All right. So at homecoming, Joe's ex-girlfriend was attempting to grind on me. I don't know if you know what that is.
Tell me what it is.
It's like when you have well, I was hanging out with my friend, my other friends, right? And they're getting grinded on, right? But I don't have a girlfriend, and I'm kind of more focused on other things, and I don't have time for that. And so his ex-girlfriend, Joe's ex-girlfriend, comes to grind on me, and I'm like, I don't really want to do that. And she's like, come on, it'll be fun. And so she did it, and I kind of let her because I wanted to fit in, I guess. But Joe found out, so he came up to me, and then he slapped me and he punched me. And he goes, dude, what the hell? Why would you do that? And we talked it out. And I basically explained to him that I was at fault. I shouldn't have done that. I value you more than those other people. I value what we have. And I wouldn't want to end that. And I want you to understand that I'm sorry. And that I really want to continue being friends with you. And he was like, it was kind of a dick move for me to come up and hit you without any preface. So I'm sorry that I did that. Then we hugged. And I said, see you tomorrow. And that was it.
Was there anybody else there that saw this?
No. Not that I know of.
Gregory's refrain, not that I know of, reads as selective memory. His account is dotted with red flags, beginning with self-soothing behaviors, neck rubbing, scratching, brief eye blocking, and one hand pressed across his stomach in a guarded posture. The story he offers strains credibility, a sudden fight with another teen, an equally sudden reconciliation, even a hug. Despite not knowing each other's last names, it suggests either a poor grasp of typical social dynamics or an assumption that investigators will accept an implausible sequence at face value.
So you were just in the parking lot. Like, were you walking? Were you hanging out? I mean, how did this... Tell me about how
I was hanging out with my friends.
So you were there in the parking lot with other people?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, can you name somebody with a first and last name?
Brian Torres.
Brian Torres?
Torres.
Spell it for me, bud. Give it a go.
P-O-R-E-Z.
P-O-R-E-Z? So,
Torres, yeah.
Okay. What grade is he in?
He's a senior.
Is he in a class with you?
No. But yeah, no. He saw it all go down.
So Brian Torres saw Joe L. punch you in the face.
Yeah.
In the student parking lot yesterday at University High School.
Yes.
Okay.
While Sergeant Pagliari continues the conversation, a second investigator quietly verifies details with the school. The results do not align with Gregory's version.
That's 100%.
That's everything?
No, that's it. I mean, you're telling me that what you're telling me is the truth.
Yeah.
Okay. You're in school all day.
Yep, I have no reason to lie.
Should I believe everything that you told me today, Greg?
I mean, it's up to you.
Well, here's the thing, okay? Do you think that I'm not going to go or have some of my detectives go and run down your story and verify all these places you were at?
Yeah.
When pressed, an honest respondent is more likely to answer plainly, yes, or ask, why wouldn't you? Gregory's reply, it's up to you, lands as needlessly confrontational.
And when I do that, what are they going to tell me?
They're going to tell you it's truthful.
That you were you went to every class today.
I was late to 7th period, and I was in the auditorium 6th period. I don't think I mentioned that, but...
Okay. So you didn't take yourself out of school today at 1:10?
No, why?
So the school's wrong.
What do you mean?
So if the school tells me that Greg checked himself out of school today at 1:10 p.m., that's wrong.
Yeah, because I was there all day.
Okay. So if Mr. Dye tells me you weren't in school today, in his class, he's wrong.
No.
No, he's not wrong.
But I didn't leave the school.
So you lied to me.
Well, I didn't leave the school. You asked if I left the school. I said no.
You lied to me. Period. I don't give a damn what it's about. You lied to me.
Yeah.
What happened?
He then goes still, as if choosing the contours of the next story. The detective has presented conflicting information. Gregory appears to enter the deconflict phase of the liar's loop, attempting to retrofit his narrative to facts now on the table. Pagliari, for his part, eases into the confrontation stage of the read technique, introducing discrepancies piece by piece and watching closely for cracks in the account. Even as pressure mounts, Pagliari mirrors Gregory's posture, a deliberate tactic to preserve rapport while tightening the evidentiary vice. With each pass, the gap widens between what can be verified and what Gregory insists took place, narrowing the space in which his story can survive.
Well, as you know, I have a D in biology.
Mm-hmm.
I fell asleep in this class. And so I needed to get shit done. I needed to go on that grind. So I skipped into the auditorium 6th and 7th period, and I sat down and I took that time and I did my bio homework and the stuff I needed to do for bio, because I'm missing a frick ton of assignments in there. I think I'm missing 6. Those need to be done.
So why would the school say you checked yourself out at 110?
Because I would show up absent for both of those classes. You can't check yourself out.
It was difficult to determine whether Gregory's emotions were genuine, but one thing had become clear. If he was willing to lie about seemingly small details, then what else might he be hiding?
Why'd you lie to me about stupid as biology?
Because I don't want you to have a bad opinion of me. Because I want you to understand I've done a lot of wrong things in my life. And I acknowledge that. I don't make the best decisions. But if something serious as this, or my mom is missing, I need you to, not have a bad opinion of me.
My opinion of you, Greg, is whatever you tell me. My job is not here to make judgments, good, bad, or indifferent. My job is to get as much as I can from you to help find your mother. Now, when you lie to me, even if it's a little bit, yeah, you lose some credibility. And you can get all upset and cry about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way that it goes.
No, I get it.
You hear what I'm saying?
No, I hear what you're saying.
And then I get these things about, well, who's the guy that drove you? I don't know. Brian something.
Well, I didn't lie to you. I legitimately forgot his name the first time I was talking about him.
These things that you tell me, right? Especially when you're not in school. Can anybody verify where were you when you did your biology homework?
In the auditorium.
So I want to see you on camera in the auditorium doing your biology homework.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I don't see that and I call you a liar again, am I right to do that?
Yeah. That's what you will see, so I'm not really worried about it.
Okay. All right. So if I were to hypothetically just say, or just to say, not even hypothetically, if I were to say that you went home last night, got in an argument with your mom for whatever reason, I guess it was the biology thing, right? Because I know she told your dad that you guys got in an argument about it. If I were to say that you went to school and then you came home, somehow you got home, I'm not sure how you got home, but you checked yourself out. Now again, give me some credit here. You checked yourself out, or you left school. Checking out. You just left. Somehow you got home. You get home, something happens to your mom, or you and your mom got into hands-on, you did something to your mom. Wouldn't that be far-fetched?
What do you mean?
You killed your mom.
Why would you think I would do that?
When confronted directly, Gregory froze. For a long pause, he sat silent, calculating. Up to this point, he had acted as though his mother was merely missing. Now, the conversation had escalated into an outright accusation. His reaction was striking, not anger, not indignation, not even denial. Instead, he deflected by asking the detective a question of his own. It was a diversion, not a defense.
You tell me. You guys have ups and downs. You got marks on your face. You told me Joel is the one that punched you in the face, but before you didn't say shit about it.
You didn't ask.
I did ask. I said, who was there? I don't know. Oh, maybe my friend was there. Your credibility with me, Greg, sometimes is up and down. So again, when I ask you, would it be far-fetched if you came home today and killed your mother?
Yeah.
You did kill your mother?
No.
Would it be far-fetched?
Yeah.
Why?
So I've never done something like that.
But she sent you. I know she sent you.
This marked the first major confrontation. When Sergeant Pagliari stated plainly, "You killed your mom," he immediately attempted to build a theme, suggesting that perhaps Gregory had been the victim of abuse, that Gail had been hitting him, and that maybe this was an act of desperation. The strategy offered Gregory a potential justification, but as the accusations grew sharper, Gregory seemed to realize that the only way to maintain a sense of innocence was to pivot into startling revelations of his own.
Have you ever been sexually assaulted?
No. Have you?
Yes.
Okay.
I have. I was sexually assaulted. I reported it to the police. They did nothing.
Okay.
So, the only person that was really there for me were my parents, and specifically my mom. My mom was the one who helped me through that dark time in my life. I felt I attempted to more than once, more than 3 times. She never put me in all facts. She never called the cops. She never did any of that. She helped me through that time in my life where I was in a bad place, and she saved me from myself. I love my mom more than anything. And we have our ups and downs and we have our problems, but I love her.
The timing of these claims was questionable. Rather than directly addressing the accusation, Gregory shifted into a victim role, portraying himself as misunderstood, even manipulated. This tactic was familiar. It echoed the kind of manipulation often used by narcissistic personalities, leveraging threats or emotional displays to regain control of the narrative. His body language matched the performance. Gregory leaned forward, locking eyes with the detective in an intense stare as though trying to measure whether his story was being believed. The posture resembled a confession stance, but he wasn't ready to confess. Instead, he was testing, manipulating, searching for validation.
And I was explaining to Detective Jones earlier, I had gotten into an argument with my mom maybe a year ago, and she sat me across the room, and she said, "I'm scared of you." And I said, "Why?" She's like, "What if you lay your hands on me?" And I said, "I would never do that, because I would never do that. That's not something I would do. That's not something I would ever do. I would never lay my hands on my mother. She's done too much for me, too much for her family, for me to lay hands on my mother." You're a detective, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, do you want to know what happened to you?
Yes.
Do you want to... Me and you want the same thing.
Yes.
We want to find my mom.
I wonder what happened to your mom.
I want to know what happened to my mom as well. And I don't think she's dead. Whatever. I try to think positively, but it's whatever. The point of the matter is, like I said before in our previous conversation.
When he added phrases like I said before, it served as a linguistic shield, protecting him from having to restate a lie and giving the illusion of consistency. Each detail, each gesture, carried the same undertone.
I've made some mistakes in my life, and I regret them. And now I'm going to voice my mistakes to you, so you can understand what happened. I don't know what happened to my mom. That's the first thing I want to get out. I don't know what happened to my mom. But I do know where I was. I know how everything conspired. And I know that I lied to you a lot because I wanted to protect my own name. But I realize now that after you asked me whether I killed my mom or not, I realized that there's something more important than just me, and that's my family. And in order to help my family and get them the answer that they want.
Gregory was playing a role, carefully shaping how the room perceived him. Gregory continued to frame himself as the model son, repeating over and over how much he cared for his mother, his family, and what a good kid he was. But the repetition itself was telling. A truly innocent person rarely feels the need to convince others of their innocence. It speaks for itself.
Then he says, they deserve, I need to be completely honest with you. And so, that's what I'm going to do. So, flip the page and I'll tell you what happened.
What stood out even more was Gregory's boldness. At just 15 years old, he seemed comfortable directing adults, even detectives. He told Sergeant Pagliari when to flip the page as if he were the one in charge of the interview. This confidence carried into the moment he began to spill the beans about the night before the incident. His story began predictably. A ride home from the Police Explorers program, followed by an argument with his mother about his grades. But what came next took a startling turn.
Around 11 o'clock on Thursday, I went to sleep. But I didn't really go to sleep. I just kind of went into my room and turned off the lights. I'm not allowed to have my phone in my room due to something we'll discuss soon. So I go at 11. No, wasn't 11. I waited until 12:30 until I went to my mom's room and got my phone.
As Gregory launched into his account, he laced it with an excessive amount of detail. These embellishments had the appearance of honesty, but in reality they functioned as cover, burying the key events in a flood of irrelevant information. This kind of over-explaining often serves as a coping mechanism, helping the speaker manage the anxiety of lying while simultaneously derailing attention from the central question. Where was his mother?
I then proceeded to call my friends to come pick me up, and I snuck out of my window, and I got picked up by my friends. I then went to... We drove around town, first off. We did that for about an hour.
Before telling this story, Gregory subtly shifted his chair, turning his body away from his sponsor. The gesture suggested withdrawal, as though he no longer wanted to participate in the conversation.
In that hour or two, I smoked a lot of cigarettes, drank a lot of alcohol, did a lot of shit. So whatever, right? It's now 1:30, I believe. And I'm back. And we go to where me and my friends we're in the car. And I have to understand, while my friends did come, quote unquote, pick me up, I was the one driving. And I wasn't, and while I had some drinks, I wasn't drunk. I wasn't drunk driving. Like, I was fully lucid and conscious. So I was driving my mom's minivan. And we drove to this church, and there's a fire pit in the back. And so me and my friends smoked a bit there, drank a bit there. I popped an LSD tab, so did my other friends. Just kind of chilled there, and we would go back and forth between my house to get more money, to go to 7-Eleven or other places and get food or drinks or snacks in general. So we traveled a lot between this fire pit and my house, in which case afterwards, and then it was like 5:45.
As he spoke, his version of events shifted and twisted. One moment his story overflowed with details. The next he withheld information entirely. This memory of extremes revealed itself in both his words and his body language. He rubbed his nose, touched his mouth, fidgeted with a pen, then quickly crossed his arms to put his guard back up. All were signs of mounting anxiety.
I drove the van home, hopped in to my house. I was wearing black boots and jeans and a gray t-shirt. And I got in my house and I started getting ready for school. Put my bio textbook in my backpack, just started getting ready, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Eventually, Gregory's account circled back to the familiar narrative he had shared earlier, that his mother dropped him off at school, and the day passed as usual until 6th period. But by now, the inconsistencies and embellishments had already cast a long shadow of doubt over his words.
At 1:10, after fifth period, I met up with my friends. We walked off campus. Stopped to go to the bathroom in the woods. It's not really necessary detail, but that is what happened. And then piled in my friend's car, and we drove to my house. We picked up some more money. Then we drove to the fire pit again, and we smoked more cigarettes there, talked. One of my friends, this is the same kid that was suicidal, and I snuck out of the night for him, but I just sneaked out. I stole my mom's car like I did Thursday night, and I had driven over to his house, and I had talked to him himself. And so this is one of the kids, and so we were just talking about life problems and how to deal with them and just all this shit.
Once again, Gregory attempted to paint himself as both a good person and an honest one, confessing small missteps and reinforcing the image with stories about helping a friend. On the surface, these details seemed harmless, but their real purpose was clear: to bolster his credibility.
And we were shooting this shit at this fireplace and smoking cigarettes and just kind of chilling. And then we basically went back home, and they dropped me off. And then from then on...
At one point, Gregory stated that he basically went back home, then stretched out an exaggerated "and then," before pausing for an unusually long moment. It was as though he were mentally skipping over something, struggling to bridge the gap in his story. The attempt at covering it up was clumsy, and the pattern repeated throughout the interrogation, with pauses that suggested selective memory rather than simple hesitation.
It's pretty much the same. I noticed my mom's car was there. The lights were on. I walked into the house. Everything was everywhere. Door busted and all that shit, whatever. I already told you. Went through my house looking for my mom. Wasn't anywhere to be found. Blah, blah, blah. Called the police.
After hours of questioning, Gregory finally began to divulge fragments of the truth. At first, these details didn't appear directly relevant to the search for his mother, but Sergeant Pagliari suspected otherwise. Something about the way the information surfaced hinted that it might prove critical, more important than anyone in the room yet realized.
Who were you with last night? What's their names?
Brian Porres and Dylan Square.
How did you get out of the house?
Window.
Or your bedroom?
Yeah.
You're wearing black boots, jeans, black jeans, right?
Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, I dumped all of this clothing because I smelled like smoke.
Okay. So black boots, though, black jeans?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They weren't black jeans, but they were just jeans.
Blue jeans?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then pink or purple or gray, they're just standard blue.
Yeah.
Gray t-shirt.
Yeah.
Throughout the exchange, the detective subtly mirrored Gregory's language, a deliberate rapport-building technique. Just as mirroring body language fosters trust, echoing verbal patterns can create a sense of connection, making it easier for someone to open up.
So now it's you and Dylan. Who else?
Brian.
You picked up Brian in Deltona also?
Yes.
Mom's minivan?
It was us three.
It was
us three.
Us, you three.
Yeah.
You drank? What were you drinking?
Alcohol.
What type? Like a beer, liquor?
Tequila.
Tequila. Okay. Who brought the tequila to the party?
Dylan.
Tequila. Smoking what?
Cigarettes.
Just cigarettes?
Yes.
And these guys, Dylan and Brian, dropped you off today.
Correct.
At your house.
Well, I told you they dropped me off at
right here. Winn-Dixie? Or no, where the hell are you talking about? Where's that place they said they dropped you?
This is High Banks. So they dropped me off here, and I walked the rest of the distance.
So it's not possible that Dylan and Brian came to your house after they dropped you off, stole your shit and killed your mom. Is that possible?
Well, I'd see them drive past me.
Okay. Well, I have to ask because, again, I'm trying to figure out what the hell happened to your mom.
They're definitely accounted for because I saw them throughout the school day, and so if this whatever happened to my mom, I don't even know what the fuck happened, but whatever happened to my mom, it happened during the school day, obviously, because when I got home, she wasn't there and the house was ransacked, so obviously something, whatever.
But Gregory's choice of words was equally telling. He repeated the word, obviously, a subtle attempt to push his narrative onto the listener. Repetition is a powerful psychological tool. The more something is repeated, the more believable it begins to sound. For Gregory, it was one more way to construct a reality that may not have aligned with the truth.
So none of that's missing. You didn't take to go trade for drugs or anything else?
No.
Okay. Did your friends?
No.
Okay. Now, you understand that, hopefully you understand, that this could have been flushed out hours ago.
Yeah, I do.
So I want to give you some credibility. I mean, what's that got to do with, you said you want your to have answers. This isn't any answers for me. I mean, this is you going out, being a teenager, stealing your mom's car, and doing some shit. I thought you were going to tell me that you know what happened to your mother. Like, somebody killed your mom?
I don't know what happened. I already told you.
Okay.
I'm giving you my alibi, so you know I didn't off my mom.
Gregory's insistence that he had already given his alibi came across as unusual. Rather than outright denying involvement, he clung tightly to his version of events, almost fixated on the story itself.
Okay. You're not getting hostile with me, are you? I'm here to help you.
Yeah, no, but I'm not trying to get hostile.
Okay.
It's just the fact that,
well, you have to understand that you could have told me this before, but now, did this guy, Joe, punch you in the face yesterday? Is that legit?
Yeah, it is.
For the first time in the interrogation, Gregory began to look truly flustered. While he had shown self-soothing behaviors throughout the interview, this moment carried a different weight, perhaps the realization that he was far from clearing himself. What he didn't realize was that the interview was about to take a turn he hadn't anticipated.
Okay, so Brian saw the guy punch you in his face. Did Dylan see this guy punch you in his face?
No, he wasn't there.
He wasn't there, but Brian's going to vouch for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure, because again, if you can't understand that I'm taking some of the things that you say with a grain of salt.
Detectives began to introduce doubt, suggesting that his friends might not back up his account. This was a classic application of the prisoner's dilemma, planting the seed that someone else could contradict him, and using that uncertainty to push him toward honesty.
Then,
no, I fully understand.
Okay.
But yeah, so neither one of them know that my mom is missing.
Sergeant Pagliari gave Gregory one final opportunity to tell the truth before his story would be tested against hard evidence.
I want you to look at me real quick, because what I'm about to tell you, I want you to understand the magnitude of it.
Okay.
Okay? So earlier in our conversation, I've been very transparent with you. I've told you some of our tactics and things that we're going to do. I told you that we're going to verify your story, right?
Yes.
Okay. So one aspect of your story, obviously, is a rundown Brian and Dylan, okay, who you said you were with last night, and here you were with today, okay?
Correct.
So think carefully about this.
Okay.
What do you think Dylan or Brian is going to say?
Like about me?
Yes.
They're probably going to act like they don't know me. Or they'll verify everything I've said.
Why would they act that they don't know you?
They don't want to get involved.
Involved in what?
Like, involved with my problems, I guess. I don't know. Point of the matter is, yeah, if you go run them down whenever you do that, whenever you want to do it.
Like right now we're doing it.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll verify my story.
They're going to do what?
They'll verify what I'm saying.
Which is that you have nothing to do with the murder of your mother.
My mom was murdered?
What do you think?
I don't know. I didn't think she was murdered.
Meanwhile, in another room, two detectives sat down with Gregory's friend, Dylan Kaglarek. What neither Gregory nor the investigators expected was just how pivotal Dylan's testimony would become. His words would soon shift the direction of the case entirely.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Not much. How you doing today?
Steve Wheeler. I'm a detective with the Sheriff's Office. Detective Mike Cox. How are you?
Pretty alright. How you doing?
Mind if we have a moment of your time?
Yeah.
You already have an idea what you're doing? Anybody contact you about anything?
No.
Okay. Have you talked to Greg today?
I saw him at school.
How good of friends are you guys?
I mean, I talked to him, but we're not like super close.
Okay.
Who's he super close with?
I don't really know. I don't talk to him that much to really find out. I only have like 2 close friends myself, so.
Okay. Who are your close friends?
There's Brian. He's a really good friend of mine. And then, yeah, really Brian. He's like the only person I talk to on a daily basis.
What's his last name?
Porras.
Porras?
Porras.
Do you know another kid named Joey? Joey Jr. or something like that?
That may be friends with Greg.
No. I mean, I don't know people by names really. So, like, I might have seen him, but I don't know him.
The discrepancies were immediate. Dylan claimed not to know who Joel was, a detail Gregory had mentioned earlier. And when it came to the scratches on Gregory's face, Dylan's account hinted at an entirely different explanation. More striking still was the way Dylan characterized their relationship. According to Gregory, he had once saved Dylan from taking his own life, a claim that suggested a bond as close as brothers. Yet Dylan downplayed their connection, showing little sign of the deep loyalty Gregory had described. The inconsistencies between their statements didn't yet amount to definitive proof, but they raised serious questions. For the first time, it was clear that Gregory's carefully constructed story might not withstand the weight of outside scrutiny.
Have you ever gone to Greg's house?
Yeah, I'm in a Greg's house.
Okay. When do you think the last time was you were over there?
I mean, probably last time I worked with him, right? Last time I worked with him, so like Saturday.
Okay, so recent.
Like, is he okay though?
So Greg is fine.
Okay.
Dad's fine. Everybody's fine except his mom. That's the problem. Is his mom is gone.
We don't know where she's
We have
at.
no idea where this lady is at. We have zero idea where this lady is at.
And that's why we're here talking to you, because we know you're friends with Greg.
Yeah, I was just worried for him.
Yeah,
Greg's fine.
I mean, he looks like he got in a fight. He said he got in a fight today at school, which is why we were trying to figure out what was going on there, because it's going with all the leads that we possibly can. So
At first, Dylan appeared cautious, fully aware that every word he spoke could carry consequences. But later, once he mistakenly believed the cameras had stopped rolling, his guard would drop, and he would make statements far more shocking than he realized, unaware that every moment was still being recorded.
she's missing today. Yeah,
Yes.
she's missing today. She's missing right now, and they have no idea where this lady went. There's some unusual circumstances around it that it's abnormal, and
Enough abnormality to get a bunch of detectives out here.
yeah, we were both at home, and they called us and said, "Hey, we need you guys to come in. We need to start talking."
For now, detectives gathered general background information, then moved quickly to verify Dylan's version of events.
The only time you saw Greg today was in the morning and in the afternoon at lunch, and you haven't seen him since?
I didn't really see him, no.
What do you mean you didn't really see him?
Like, I didn't face-to-face kind of thing. I saw him walking, but...
When?
After lunch, and then before I left.
Okay, but not out of school?
No.
And Greg never left early and got a ride with you guys at all?
No, I was with Brian.
It became clear that Dylan and Brian were extremely close, having spent much of the day together. To ensure they captured every angle of the story, investigators brought Brian in for questioning as well.
How you doing, sir?
Are you Brian? Shut up! Yeah.
Hey, Brian, I'm Detective Wheeler. This is Detective Johnson.
Yeah.
We need to talk to you. So if we come in and talk to you?
Here, let me step out real quick. Sorry, you just woke me up.
Sorry, man. All right, well, here's the deal, man. We need to talk to you about that burglary happened over at Greg's house today.
Okay.
You know anything about it?
He messaged me that something happened. That's all I've heard, though.
Yeah. Did you see Greg today?
At school.
What time?
From last I saw him was lunch.
Did you see him after lunch?
What?
Did you see him after lunch?
No, I was in class. That's really like one of the last times I saw him, so.
Initially, Dylan's and Brian's accounts seemed consistent, but cracks soon began to form.
Did you ever know Greg to have how do I describe this? A mean streak, per se, in him? You ever seen him get angry?
Like anger issues?
Angry, yeah. Any indication that he has it in him? Does he have a lot of anger built up? Does he have a lot of animosity against anything or anyone?
Like have hate for anything, but he has anger, yeah.
What's he have anger about?
Just, he's like anyone, something little, it just make him angry out of nowhere.
Did you ever see him snap?
No, I've never seen him snap.
How do you know he has anger?
Because I've just seen him angry, like, about stuff.
What kind of things?
I didn't really ask about it. It's not really my thing to know.
How did he act when he was angry? I mean, does he shut down? Does he get fired up?
He shuts down. He just doesn't want to talk to anyone when he gets angry.
Has he given you anything to hold of his from that house?
Last week he let me borrow his bow, if you want that.
What'd you borrow it for?
I just thought it was cool. I actually don't even know how to shoot it.
So what'd you borrow it for?
I thought it was cool.
So you thought it would just be cool to have in your room?
Yeah, I collect like stuff like that. Like I have a knife that's also a lighter. Just interesting stuff.
What would you gonna do with the bow? Look at it?
Yeah, pretty much.
You were gonna shoot it at all?
I don't know.
Was there arrows with it?
No, it was just the bow. I have no idea how to shoot it. So
That kind of seems odd, though.
Most thing I've ever shot is a BB gun, to be honest.
Dylan slipped up, an error that immediately raised red flags. Gregory had listed his bow among the items stolen from the house, yet Dylan appeared to have possession of it. The implication was unavoidable. Either Dylan had stolen the bow, or Gregory had lied to Sergeant Pagliari.
I'm gonna ask you a couple more things.
Yeah.
You swear from the information you're about to give me is true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Okay. You and Greg left school together today, didn't you?
No, sir.
You didn't walk off campus today?
I walked off campus.
Did Greg walk with you?
I walked with Brian.
Okay, you walked with Brian. And where did you walk to?
To Brian's truck.
Okay.
Tractor.
His what?
Tractor.
His tractor. And you went where?
I went here.
And what did you do when you got here?
I grabbed my clothes.
Okay.
Me and Brian drove around, and I went to work.
Despite Dylan's insistence that he was telling the truth, his statements increasingly conflicted with Brian's.
So I picked up Greg this morning, right? After I picked up Dylan. And then there's morning times I really don't talk to them. I just pick them up and bring them to school because I'm tired. I'm not a morning person at all. And then I went to school, went through my classes like usual. Lunchtime, I saw him again. And then after lunch, that's really like one of the last times I saw him. So,
What time did you leave school?
sometimes he goes to his 7th, sometimes he doesn't.
What time did you leave school?
What time did I leave?
At one point, Brian repeated the detective's question, a common stalling tactic to buy time. He repeated part of it again moments later, raising suspicions about why such a simple memory required so much thought.
I left after 5th period.
Who'd you take with you?
With me, it was me and Dylan.
And?
Greg, but I took
where
him
did
home.
you go?
I took him back
To his house.
The inconsistencies mounted, and as detectives pressed harder, Dylan's composure began to crumble. The carefully rehearsed story that had held together at first was unraveling piece by piece, and under the weight of the interrogation, Dylan finally cracked.
We walked off campus. We went to his house. He gave me his stuff to hold.
What stuff?
I can show you.
Tell us what it is.
He gave me his gaming laptop, his gaming PC. He gave me his bow that I borrowed.
Today?
So I hold that.
He gave you his personal computer too? And the bow?
And the bow.
Why did he give you? So it's a laptop, a gaming laptop, a PC, and a bow?
It's a gaming PC.
Okay. Gaming PC, a bow, and what else?
Don't know what else, honestly.
And then what?
Why did he give them to you to hold? Did he tell you?
He said he was in trouble, so he gave me it. And I drove off. I came here. I put it in my closet. And I went to work. After he gave me the stuff, I went to work. I didn't do anything else. I have a job to do.
Look, why did he say he was giving you that stuff?
What kind of trouble is he in?
I don't know what kind of trouble is he in, but got there and the house looked really torn up. So he told me to take the stuff. I mean, I get what it was looking like.
So you got to the house with Greg and Brian.
Just the driver.
Did Brian get out? Did you all go inside the house?
We got to the door. He ran in. I looked inside. I could see it all messed up. He ran out, gave me that, gave me the bow. He threw a couple of the things that we ended up just throwing out. And then I came back here.
What did you throw out?
We threw out like a computer and a printer and just like small stuff like that.
Threw it out where?
We just found a random dumpster and threw it in there.
Where's this random dumpster?
The Winn-Dixie parking lot.
With Dylan's confession, the pieces began to fall into place. Every item Gregory had reported as stolen was now accounted for. What started as a burglary investigation was unraveling into something far darker. And as detectives probed deeper into what kind of trouble Gregory might have been involved in, Dylan delivered a shocking and deeply disturbing revelation.
I'm sorry for lying.
I know, but now's the time to get it all out. All of it. So tell us what happened.
I mean, he's done this much. He's given you personal items for you to hide or to hold. That's not suspicious to you, and it's not suspicious to you that you guys hold on.
Dylan knows. He knows.
Yeah.
Say it.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Yep.
Tell us what happened.
It's okay, man. It's not on you.
Pretty much what happened. Me and Brian were driving to school this morning, and he called me and Brian. Said, "Hey, something big happened. he wouldn't say it on the phone. So me and him had to go get him. Then he gets in the car and he says, I did it. I really did it. I killed my mother. So we drove to school. We did the entire day. We left early. And we get back to the house. He says, take this.
Greg did say something happened to his mother. It was kind of fuzzy because he seemed like he was kind of shooken up. So he said something happened, and like I said, he was really shooken. So he told me something about how his house is messed up. So we went over there, and he asked if I could take some of his stuff, right? He said he needed to get rid of some of the stuff in his house. So we go in there, and we grab some of the stuff out of his house.
So you did go in a house?
Yes, and we put it in the tracker. And he told us what needed to be like kept and what needed to be thrown away. So we stopped and we threw away, like you said, the printer, the jukebox. Yeah. Where else did we stop? The church, right up there in High Banks.
What happened at the church, buddy?
Greg he put one of the, like a trunk, he put that in the water.
What was in the trunk, buddy?
A whole bunch of random stuff. Like just junk that you'd see like a garage sale.
After hours of interrogation, the truth was finally surfacing. But even with this horrific information in hand, gaps remained. There was still so much the detectives needed to uncover. Brian, in particular, remained reluctant, holding back a crucial detail that could change everything.
What was said? What did Greg tell you? Don't cover up for Greg.
I'm not trying to cover for Greg.
If he said it, then he said it. And then, you did what you did, and that can be explained. Mm-hmm. But don't sit here and just continue to lie to us, all right?
Okay.
You and Greg are buddies.
There's more than one person here. It's not just you. Remember that.
Sensing hesitation, the detectives applied pressure, invoking the prisoner's dilemma once more. By suggesting that there's more than one person here, they drove home the point that Brian's silence might not protect him if Dylan had already spoken.
There's two other parties involved. It's not just you, okay?
So it's not like we came here blind. Looking for answers.
Yeah, I can tell that by how much you guys already know and all that, so.
Just tell us what he said.
He said that he's telling me that, like, an argument, or not really argument, but he told me that, like, it's hard to say. It's
just
honestly.
Just say it. Just say it. We've probably already heard it.
He said that he killed his mother, and I didn't really believe it, so.
Okay, all right.
Both boys had now implicated Gregory in his mother's death. Even though Brian tried to distance himself, claiming he didn't believe Gregory's words, the explanation rang hollow. After all, he had helped stage the crime scene. It was impossible to imagine that he could walk away without suspicion. Regardless of what Brian or Dylan wanted to believe, both had played a role in covering up the brutal and shocking murder of Gregory's mother. As detectives prepared to brief Sergeant Pagliari on these new revelations, another problem emerged. One investigator noticed Dylan was beginning to break down. The weight of the truth, and his part in it, was taking a visible toll.
Yeah. You okay? I know your history. I just want to make sure that you're not thinking about harming yourself or anything. Dylan, you okay? I know it's tough.
You feel anything for it.
You don't feel anything for what? What do you mean you don't feel anything for it?
There's like a part of me that knows I should feel bad, but I can't feel anything for it. I don't know what to do.
Listen, just do what you're doing. Sitting here talking to me, okay? I can understand. You're probably not feeling anything because you haven't really processed it yet. You haven't processed what happened.
As one detective stayed behind to comfort Dylan, another quickly contacted Sergeant Pagliari. Armed with this new information, Pagliari prepared for a final confrontation with Gregory. But even with everything they had learned, no one could have anticipated the chilling words about to come from the teenager's mouth.
Do you think, and I'm going to ask you this, I've asked this before. Okay. Because in your hearts of hearts, looking at me face to face, are you a man of integrity? Do you know what that is?
I do know what it is.
Okay. Are you a person of integrity?
I don't think I have the best character. I think I have character flaws, but on the up and up, usually I try to be as honest as possible. And when I'm not, it's because I'm being selfish. And I can admit that.
Okay.
I tend to be selfish, and that's a problem I have. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I want you. I'm going to do this. I want you to look at me right in my eyes. Okay? I'm going to look like this. And I'm going to ask you, did you kill your mother, take things from your house, distribute them amongst your friends, come in here today and lie to my face and say that you didn't do that?
No.
No what?
I didn't do that.
You didn't kill your mother?
No.
Okay.
When Pagliari sat down with him, Gregory's body language was striking. He sat in complete stillness, locking his eyes on the detective with an intensity that never wavered. It was the posture of someone trying desperately to control the moment, to lie without giving himself away. Yet his reaction to the accusations was telling. There was no anger, no outrage, no shock at being betrayed by his friends. An innocent person would almost certainly display disbelief, indignation, or even rage.
All right. So, sit back down. I don't believe you. Why? Well, the good news about it is that all those things that were missing from your house, we found them. Where? You tell me. I give you a clue. It's one of your buddies.
Are you saying my friends robbed my house?
Is that what you took out of this? Is that I'm saying that your friends robbed your house? The same friends who, by the way, were at school all day and who dropped you off. Here, I'll refer to your little map here, bud. Remember this. They dropped you right here on High Banks and whatever the hell this road is. And I asked you earlier, is it possible that your two friends could have went to your mom's house and killed your mom and taken those things?
And I didn't.
You said that's impossible because they would have been driven past you, and then you would have saw them. The time is up, Greg. The time is up. We found the stuff.
Okay.
Okay? Your buddies turned us onto it. Now you need to tell me what happened, because they've already told me what happened, told my pals what happened. So you need to come to Jesus. You're a religious man. You prayed with your mom. You need to tell me what happened.
So what did they tell you?
I'm not telling you what they told me, because I don't have to tell you what they told me. You tell me what happened.
I already told you what happened.
Tell me you didn't kill your mother.
I didn't.
Who killed your mother?
I have zero clue.
Who took the shit to your house?
Well, you just told me. Apparently it's my friends.
And when did you think they did that?
I have zero clue.
Do you honestly believe the things that are coming out of your mouth?
Yeah.
So when your buddy says that you told him you killed your mother, he's lying.
From Gregory, there was only silence. Backed into a corner, Gregory held out for as long as he could. Then, something inside him broke. In a flat, detached manner, he confessed, delivering one of the most chilling admissions detectives had ever heard.
Oh, good, whatever. All right, I'll tell you what happened. All right, so I got home. I got in an argument with my mom. She slapped me across the face. She began to hit me. She started beating me. I didn't like it, so I strangled her to death. I put her in a wheelbarrow. I put her in my car. I took the car. I had a mental breakdown where I was committed suicide 3 times.
Even in that moment, Gregory twisted the narrative to place himself as the victim. He claimed he had almost had a mental breakdown and thought about taking his own life, trying to frame the murder of his mother within his own suffering. It was a classic display of narcissistic behavior. Center himself in the tragedy even while admitting to the unthinkable. What disturbed investigators most was not just the confession, but the way he delivered it.
I drove around Daytona. I dropped the wheelbarrow in some random-ass location, and I drove back to the church. I began to dig a hole. I dig a hole right under the fire pit. I dug a pretty deep hole, pretty deep, deep enough to fit a body in, all right? All this time, my mom's decomposing body, I dragged it from my car to the fire pit, in which case I tried to cut the wedding ring off her finger because I wanted to pawn it, but I couldn't because I didn't have a knife strong enough to cut bones. Oh, well, whatever. Anyways, so I dug that hole, threw her body in there, filled it back in, made it look all nice and natural, dumped my clothes, and then I went home, and I caught a ride to school with my friends, and yeah.
And yeah. What about the part that you staged a crime scene?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part. Oh, so in the middle of the night, I realized that, hey, my mom just up and disappears. That's not going to make any sense. So I decided to make it look like a botched robbery. So I just went to my house and I just threw shit everywhere, which looked pretty convincing. Yeah.
And yeah, again, not what I want to hear. Why did you drag your 2 buddies into this and give them the stolen shit?
Because I needed to get rid of it.
Gregory showed no remorse, no sorrow, no hesitation. Instead, he doubled down.
I think you have to realize that with my mom beating up and hitting on me, it wasn't like me being like, I've waited ages for this, and then I kill her. No, this was extremely out of impulse, out of me getting beaten the shit out of me. So I just was like, I'm done with it. So I grabbed her neck and I strangled her. So it was out of complete impulse, which doesn't make it any better. But the point of the matter is, I was shaken up, obviously.
So your mother talked to your father on the phone. When did you strangle your mother?
I don't know, 12:30.
Where was she at when you did it?
What?
Where was she?
In the room.
Which room?
Her room.
Sleeping?
No, she woke up.
She woke up after you had your hands around her throat?
No, she woke up when I entered her room.
And what happened then?
She's like, "What are you doing?"
What did you say?
And I said, "Listen, you have to understand that I was not, the stuff that is on my face right now was a lot worse, and I wasn't feeling good." And I said, "Why did you have to hit me?" I said, "You said that you wouldn't do that again, but you did it anyways. Why did you have to do that?" And she's like, "Well, whatever, blah, blah, blah." You
Stop.
Yeah.
Whatever, blah, 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 bullshit. We covered that.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. What'd she say?
She was like, "Well, you were being a dick." And does that really warrant?
Let it out. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's important. I want you to tell me.
No. Does that really warrant? Not important. Does that really warrant? I wasn't being a dick. I already explained to you the conversation that I had with her. All right. It's still about my bio grade. It's still about all that shit, right? Mm-hmm. And it's the same conversation I had with her. But it's the same conversation. It's just, like I said, it escalated to screaming and yelling, and then she started hitting me. And I did not hit back. I did not punch her back because, like I said, I wouldn't do that.
Reinforcing his version of events with referral statements such as, "like I said," repeated over and over. By doing so, he attempted to thread his lies together with fragments of truth, constructing the illusion of consistency. It was a performance as cold as it was horrifying, and one that revealed far more about Gregory than he ever intended.
Until I realized that if I let her keep on beating me around and basically letting her just do whatever she wanted, that eventually it was either going to be me or her. And so I made a decision.
According to Gregory, his mother's murder was an act of preemptive self-defense. But no justification could explain away the brutality of such a horrifying and unforgivable crime. As the interrogation continued, he revealed grisly details of the cold-blooded attack.
Put your hands around her neck? Was she facing you when you did it?
Yeah.
You extend your arms and put your hands around her throat?
Yes.
And squeezed?
Yeah.
What did she do?
I mean, what can you do in that situation?
You tell me what she was doing.
Well, I forced her onto the ground and I was strangling her. And she was trying, she was clawing my arm, she was whatever. I mean, you can probably see on my hand where in this crease here, I was putting so much stress on it because I was over it. I realized that it was either her getting so angry with me one day that she just takes out a kitchen knife and stabs me, or it was me getting so angry with her that I strangled her to death. And so I took the latter because I didn't want her to kill me. I didn't think that was fitting. I wouldn't have worked out. So I just took action instead.
At times, Gregory seemed to struggle to articulate his reasoning. Phrases like, "I didn't think that was fitting," stood out as particularly strange in the middle of a murder confession. Though he openly admitted to killing her, he twisted his narrative in an attempt to frame it as self-defense, a roundabout justification that sounded implausible to the detectives. Yet the way he delivered it suggested he may have actually convinced himself of this distorted reality.
You force her to the floor, and you choke the life out of her. How'd that make you feel?
I felt nothing.
How long did it take?
30 minutes.
You choked your mother on the floor to death for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
How'd you know she was dead?
Okay, well, actually, let me rephrase this. I choked her to death, and I thought she was dead, and I went to go get the wheelbarrow, and then she was moving, so I had to get back on top of her and finish the job. And then once she wasn't resisting when I was dragging her dead body across the floor, I knew she was dead.
Gregory's tone remained crude and unnervingly detached as he recounted how he disposed of his mother's body.
Well, listen, dead bodies are heavy. They're a pain in the ass to carry. I was like, all right, well, this is easy. Simple fireman's carry, right? I'm just pick her up, whatever, bring her to the car, throw her in there. Nah, this is heavy. So I got the wheelbarrow, I dragged her out to the stairs, and then I positioned the wheelbarrow in the way so I could basically muscle her body into the wheelbarrow just perfect enough to where I could get her into the car, actually into the wheelbarrow, without having to, break my back.
Okay. So you take her to the car. Where do you put her in the minivan?
I just shoved her in there.
In the very back?
Yeah. Open up the trunk, just kind of. I put 2 belts around her legs, and then I dragged her into the car.
2 belts around her legs and dragged her into the car?
Yeah, I tied 2 belts. I had like a belt around her ankle and a belt around her ankle, and then I tied them together and I used it as a crutch.
So you were in the van and just dragged her, like, from inside the van and dragged her from the wheelbarrow into the back of the van?
Yeah, it was a bit to do, but yeah, I did it.
Step by step, he offered a chilling glimpse into the twisted thought process of a teenage killer. Even his phrasing carried disturbing contrasts.
Okay. So you pull her into the back of the car, and then where do you go?
Well, I threw a wheelbarrow in there, and I got the shovel, and I was like, okay, let's do this. Whatever, it's easy. No. Then I had a mental breakdown. I was like, holy shit, blah, blah, whatever.
Nope. Blah, blah, whatever. What's that mean? Fill it in.
Like, whatever, holy shit, what am I doing? And, or whatever, just ruin my future, blah, 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 whatever.
At one point, his repeated blah, blah, blah comments reflected a dichotomy that was both fascinating and unsettling. On one hand, it showed flashes of intelligence. On the other, it revealed an immaturity that bordered on childish. For most teenagers, this duality is normal. But when tied to a graphic confession of murder, it was chilling beyond measure.
Basically I was basically reasoning with myself, do I deserve to live? And I realized that I did the thing I did out of self-defense. I mean, sure, she wasn't hitting me in the moment, but it would have eventually just gotten worse and worse and worse. It's always gotten worse and worse and worse over the years. But it was just a matter of time. I was on the highway, I was driving and then I realized, I had lots of thoughts going through my head. My original thought was, what if I just dump my mom's body in some random ass location with a wheelbarrow, and then I just go on the run, right? And then I realized, where the f*** would I go? I mean, I had my sister's house in Michigan, yeah, but she just turned me into the cops, and whatever, I'm not going to get out of the country in whatever, how many hours they find her body. So it's not worth it. And I was like, well, I could just go into oncoming traffic. I mean, it's really busy in this area for some reason. I could just move my car into oncoming traffic and myself. And I was like, nah, it's a pussy ass way to go. I'm not going to do that. All right. So I just decided, I guess we're just back at square one. So I'm going to go back to where I started.
Gregory continued narrating his actions without hesitation, detailing the disturbing, almost mechanical steps he took in desecrating his mother's body.
Drove the body back to the church, began to dig the hole, realized that my phone flashlight's not going to be enough, go back to the house, get a new flashlight. Then, this is me. When I'm talking about me going back to my house to get money, it's just me trying to make excuses for my phone being in certain places. I should have just trashed my phone like I did with my mom's, but I didn't really want to do that because I was listening to music and I was gonna get caught anyway, so there's no point. And so I get a couple candles, I get flashlights, I get whatever, and I get the area lit up. Dig, realized that the body smells terrible. It smells like shit. Jesus Christ, you smell a dead body?
I smell a dead body? Yes, sir, I have.
Yeah, they smell like shit.
Gregory casually listening to music while digging a grave, speaking with ease about the smell of his mother's decomposing body. Beyond the lack of remorse he had already displayed, this revealed a complete absence of empathy.
So I was like, okay, you get something to clean up. So I went to my house, got a can of bleach, and I was like, okay, when I get the body in there, I'll pour the bleach on it and just make it smell sterile before I cover it back up with dirt. I was like, okay, that seems like a pretty good plan, whatever.
Detectives also noticed a change in his speech patterns. From the moment he began confessing, his words came out faster, more fluidly. It was likely his natural way of speaking, unlike earlier, when he slowed himself down in an effort to appear controlled and deceptive.
So when we dig the hole, it's like, 4:30? And I decided, all right, so we dump the body and then we fill back up, and then at 5:30 we put back. So
we?
Myself.
Okay, so you're talking about we being yourself, nobody else is there. This is just you.
Yeah, it's just me. So, anyways, done with the hole. So kick the body in the hole, but it doesn't fit. So I had to kind of cram her in there. I don't know if I broke any bones, whatever. Pour the bleach on her, put the dirt over her, and I mean, when you go out there, you'll see it. It looks perfectly natural. Doesn't look like there's anything.
How'd you mask the hole? What'd you do?
Well, it was a fire pit, so I literally just threw the dirt back on it, moved the rocks around. It looks perfectly fine.
So she's in the fire pit, or under the fire pit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then came yet another shocking revelation. Gail's body was not the only thing Gregory hid in the woods that night.
What else is in the woods?
What else is in there? The broom I used to sweep the drag marks away.
Okay.
Because when you're dragging a dead body, like I said, I trashed the wheelbarrow on Holly Hills, which is a dumbass move because I still needed to get the body out from the trunk of my car and bring it down to this area, right? But I realized whatever, blah, 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 dumb. So if I hadn't wasted maybe an hour and a half, I probably would have gotten away with it. But I did waste that hour and a half because I needed to come to terms with what I did. Anyways, I dragged her body with the two belts I had tied to her ankles. I dragged it all the way to the fire pit. And, like when you're dragging the body on leaves and palm fronds and whatnot, that collects quite a lot of shit, to be frank.
So is there anything else? I mean, you said that there's a shovel in the woods, a broom in the woods. How about any of the stolen or the stuff that you took from the
Well, there's more. Yeah, there's stolen shit. There's nothing big. It's like all small shit. And I just kind of chucked it in there because no one else wanted it, and I needed to get rid of it. So there's a cache of stolen shit in the lake behind the fire pit, but it's probably all whatever. By the way, in the woods by the fire pit, I don't know. I couldn't point out to you exactly, but there's 2 laptops and the 30 caliber gun right behind the fire pit in the woods. And obviously, the rest of the stuff is.
I do. Go back to before you left your house with your mother's body in the van, you started staging the crime scene. Is that right? You said you took some of the stolen shit out?
Yeah.
What, not stolen. You took what'd you take out of the house first, and then while your mother's body was in the van?
Well, I just kind of figured, I need to get everything out. I was like, well, not everything, but I was like, how can I make this look legit? I was like, I can't just make my mom disappear and then head to school and be like, oh, everything's okay. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's not gonna work. So I need to make it look like something happened, like a botched robbery or something. And you gotta admit, I don't know if you saw the house. Do you see the house?
I haven't gone inside yet, though.
All right,
see your work.
It looks quite nice.
Okay.
It looks quite legit.
It's weird. Why is there all this crap up here spilled? There's a broken glass here. Why is all this shit broken, dude?
His casual acknowledgement of this fact, followed by, oh yeah, it looked so legit, underscored just how unnervingly comfortable he was in discussing the crime. It was a twisted form of bravado, the same bravado that had landed him in the interrogation room, confessing in the first place.
Basically, I just of everything, and I grabbed everything of value, and I kind of just threw it in the van, and yeah.
As Sergeant Pagliari worked to piece together the rest of this disturbing account, Gregory seized every opportunity to showcase his ego. His arrogance was unmistakable, flaunted in the very face of his mother's murder.
Now, some of the stuff you gave to your friends. When did you give some of that to your friends?
After school.
After school?
Yeah, there wasn't any time. I was planning what I was going to plan to do is I was going to drive up to the Sunrail and leave my mom's car there and dump the bike somewhere and make it look like that she went to Orlando and that she just got whatever. And I think actually if I hadn't made the botched robbery and I just kind of drove the car up there and lost the bike and gotten picked up by my friends, and we kind of just kept hush-hush about it, and I killed my mom and put her under the fire pit, you guys probably would have never caught me because you'd probably think that she got mugged in Orlando and died, and that probably would have made a lot more sense. But I didn't think it through because I was impulse thinking and I was doing everything on a whim. So if I had more time to think it through, I probably would have done other things, but that's whatever.
Okay. So you went to school, though?
Oh, yeah.
How did you get to school?
Brian Dill picked me up in front of my house. I was wearing jeans covered in dirt, as well as boots covered in dirt. You'll find those in the woods with the broom and the shovel. But I was wearing no shirt. I just grabbed a random shirt and some soap and a washcloth. And then when I got to school, I wiped all the dirt off me, the excess blood that was on my face from my mom hitting me, and I cleaned myself up. And then I went to school, and after nothing happened.
So then you You go to school like nothing's up, right? Let's just go to class for a little while, right?
Yeah, well, that's my last day as a free man. Might as well enjoy it.
Okay. Say goodbye to your friends?
More or less, it's you. It's whatever.
Well, your two best buds are the ones you really care about, right?
Well, no, they screwed me over in the end, so it's whatever.
Only one person keeps a secret, Greg.
Yeah.
When did they find out that you killed your mom?
When they picked me up, because I was covered in blood, which was my blood, but I was covered in blood and dirt, and wasn't wearing a shirt, and I had soap, and they were like, "What the happened?" And I was like, "Well, Brian, I called you last night." He's like, "Yeah, I know," and I told Dylan.
Okay. So then, what was their reaction?
Apathy.
Tell me. Describe. Elaborate.
They didn't care.
They didn't care. They thought you were full of shit. I mean,
well, yeah, they thought I was full of shit. They only took them back to where I did it,
which was after school.
Yeah.
And then after school, you took them to the church.
Yeah.
And then you just started divvying out shit.
Yeah. I said, "Take what you want."
Knowing that your mother was dead, and you told them, "Take what you want," and they were good with that.
Yeah, they took it.
Who took what?
I don't know.
Okay.
Meanwhile, detectives confirmed what had become increasingly clear. Dylan and Brian had played a direct role in helping Gregory cover up the crime. Both were detained as Pagliari brought Gregory's interrogation to a close.
Well, how about the part, I gotta say, I was impressed with the kicking of the door. Did you do all that yourself?
Oh, no, I had those two do it.
Oh, okay, so again, more things that these guys did.
Yeah.
Right? So tell me about that.
Well, I was like, "Hey, I need help staging the crime scene." And they were like, "Okay, we'll help you."
So both of them together kicked in the door.
Yeah, it was very impressive.
Okay. Do you guys have this on video or anything? Did you like me?
No, I wish I had it on video. That would be graphic. That'd be great. But no. But I'm sure if you dust for footprints on the door, you'll find their shoes.
Okay.
You'll find it all over the house as well. But then we went to my mom's room. We got the gloves. Gave them gloves because they didn't want to get their fingerprints on anything, even though they had already kicked the door open and whatnot. But and even though they're already like basically helping me do this whatever.
But even in the final moments, Gregory revealed his chilling apathy.
So, am I going to go to prison or what? What's up?
Well, what's going to happen is I have to obviously let someone from the state attorney's office know about today's events, and then we'll go from there. So there's no end game as far as what's going to end up happening to you. And your question is like what, prison and all that jazz? I don't know. But you will be arrested.
Like, yeah, obviously. But like, since I'm a minor, can I even go to prison? Is it like a thing?
That I don't know. Again, I'm just the person who gets the facts and presents them.
Is that a thing?
Again, yeah. All we're going to do, Detective Jones and I are just here to get the facts of the case. We present our findings to the legal part of things, which that's not me.
So since I'm in the police station already, ready to do handcuffs and all that jazz?
You probably will be handcuffed at some point. Yeah.
No, bro. And then I did Act of the Century. She's giving me a Grammy for that 9/11 or 911 call.
Yeah.
You should give it a listen. It's quite nice.
He boasted about the 911 call he had made, a call he seemed proud of. Yet that very call was one of the earliest signs that something wasn't right. When asked where the emergency was, instead of answering directly, Gregory immediately launched into his story. From the beginning, that was the red flag.
911, where's your emergency?
I just got home and my house is completely trashed. It looks like someone broke in the side door.
For investigators, the contrast was striking. An innocent person, desperate for help, would focus on providing answers, not weaving a story. The fact that Gregory could deliver such a performance without breaking composure made it all the more incredible that detectives kept a straight face. Before officially arresting him, Sergeant Pagliari posed one final question.
You've taken a little bit of pride in what you did. That's fine. You know what? It is what it is, right? Are you willing to go with us and show us where at the church where you put her and everything? Do a little reenactment of what happened? So again, if you're willing to ride with us, I'll sit with you in the backseat of a patrol car. Uniformed deputies will come in and handcuff you, of course, and put you back there with me, and then you'll just take us over to the church, and then we'll get out and do a little video reenactment of the scene over there, and just kind of go through some things. Tell us what you were thinking. That's all I'm looking to do at this point. You want to do that?
I'd be down.
You're down?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Soon after, Gregory led officers to a local church, guiding them through the woods to the burial site.
Drop, and then I put my phone, if I can find this code.
Are your phone's out here?
Well, no, it's not. I wish it was.
No, me too.
But, oh, whatever. Well, there was a wooden, did they find the stuff back here?
We probably found a few things, but go ahead. What you recall?
All right. Well, whatever. There's Did you guys find the gun back here?
Did we find a gun back here? It's okay if we did.
There's one back there.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Okay.
A rifle?
Yeah. You guys found the laptops as well?
I believe so, sir.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
So yeah, whatever. I set up my phone so I get some light, but then I realized I needed more, so I had to go back to my house and get more. But
Sure. Tell me how you dug the hole. Let's talk about that.
Took a shovel and I dug it up.
Okay. All right. And then how did you put your mother's body in the hole? How was she oriented? Was she face up? Is she?
Okay. So originally I was gonna put her in legs first, and I realized that was a bad idea.
Right.
So I put her in head first, and then I folded her legs in. You're gonna when you dig her up, whenever you do that, you'll find the legs first, which should make it easier for you to pull it out. But
Okay. How big a hole are we talking about here, Greg?
pretty big.
Well, I mean, let's say circumference-wise. If you had to put you're a math guy. What do you think?
I mean, you guys got rid of the fire pit, but it was the circumference of the fire pit.
That's what the whole thing was, just the circumference of the fire pit?
Yeah, and then it kind of coned down.
Did you get tired?
Well, yeah, that, and I was on a time limit.
Okay, all right. So Detective Escobar, just so you're aware, Greg strangled her to death. 2 hands on her neck. Go with it.
Originally started with 1, but then I thought two's better than 1.
Okay, all right. And that was 2 on both times? You choked your...
Well, I will. Yeah. Well, she was like up against the wall, and if I was at my house, I'd show you. But
okay.
It was interesting. It was whatever.
No, I just want to know. Okay,
Yeah,
again,
it's both.
So against the wall, standing up, and then on the floor.
Well, I had her up against the wall on the floor.
Against the wall on the floor.
If you
See how that makes sense?
It does.
It doesn't make sense.
It's hard to make sense.
Was her head up against the wall and her body was on the floor?
Yeah.
Like you had her like pinned in the corner?
I had her in a
like a
corner.
bench
I had her in a corner. Yeah.
of the wall on the floor?
Yeah. There you go.
It was like bedroom, right? Master bedroom?
Yeah. You can see when you go in there, the bed's tilted. We started on the bed. We struggled off the bed onto the left side where I proceeded to kill her.
Okay.
Meanwhile, as Gregory walked the detectives to his mother's grave, Dylan and Brian sat together in the back of a patrol car. Believing themselves unobserved, the two spoke freely about their situation. Their words revealed a startling truth. They seemed completely unaware of the severity of what they had done.
I told the entire thing because they knew it already. Dude, I haven't been in cuffs all night, and then this lady shows up and she puts me in cuffs.
But you were in cuffs? Dude, they showed up and I was okay, and then they're like, okay, we transfer you in cuffs.
They transported me without cuffs.
I'm like, wait, so like Dylan said his house was like, no, they're with our other detectives, and was like, shit, he's part of the police station. So they called my father.
Oh no!
Yeah, they called my father. My father knows that I'm involved in this. I'm gonna get chewed out when I get home, and I'm not gonna get a birthday or Christmas or anything. I'm gonna be grounded for the next 10 years and disowned by my entire family.
Dude, I'm not even getting to work tomorrow.
Someone's about to get fired.
Dude, no, we had that job.
Oh man.
We're making $15 an hour. Come on, guys. This is important. Yeah, it was $15 an hour.
Wait, are we not able to anymore?
I should be done by now.
What time are we going over there? Only the willpower stay up so long.
Dude, no, how it's working, you have to be there at 11 o'clock till around 7 o'clock.
That sounds like work.
Yeah, but it's 8 times 15. It's 140.
Each. That's good enough. I feel bad that other jackass one.
The idea of serving time in jail never appeared to cross their minds. Whether this was a reflection of teenage immaturity or a genuine belief that helping Gregory cover up his mother's murder wasn't a crime, the effect was the same.
Is that Greg?
That's not Greg. That guy's too tall and like skinny.
No, it's Greg. Look at his limp.
Yeah, he has to point out where the body is.
That's Greg.
That's Greg.
Mine.
No.
I know, he's not even mine. Like, honestly.
Look at what Matt's wearing. Like, I'll do a lot of things for a friend.
I was under the impression I was taking some property. I got some speakers out of it. I was enjoying those tonight. I was kind of drunk. You should ask.
Their lack of accountability was staggering. And then, in a moment that defied belief, their absence of remorse was laid bare. Dylan and Brian began singing Alien Boy by Oliver Tree, as though their involvement in a brutal crime was nothing more than an afterthought.
I was sitting there singing Bruno Mars and all that, just like blasting the speakers. I had them all hooked up and it looked nice in my room.
I fell down.
I was listening to that too. 3 doors down, so you can't ignore it. I'll hunt you down like Tyrannosaurus.
Eventually, all 3 boys were transported back to the police station. After a chaotic night of questioning and processing, Gregory, Dylan, and Brian were reunited, once again in the back of a patrol car. Taken to the Department of Juvenile Justice, They remained oblivious to one critical fact. Every word, every gesture was still being recorded.
Because, like, I was asking for a bottle of water so much. The one lady was like, the water's in that fountain right there. And I'm just like, I'm not drinking out of that. Like, I'm just going to get AIDS straight from drinking from that water fountain. I know. That's just...
You have handcuffs in the cell when, like, were they in front of you or behind you?
in front.
Okay, I was gonna say, they're
But
how the hell are you gonna do that? You're gonna like have to do some like trapeze.
oh no, when I had to like flush the toilet, I literally had to like kick the button pretty much.
Yeah, you need to be quiet for 1 second. 1 Delta 65 Central. 3 juvenile males en route to DJJ. Starting mileage is 581. All right, you guys can go ahead and talk if you want.
Dude, seriously. Oh, I was not sitting down on that toilet. It was like steel and there was white stuff all over the toilet. I'm just like, I'll pass on that.
My dad, dude. Why my dad here?
What? My family isn't here. I guess they just disowned me already.
You're Brian?
What? Yeah, I'm Brian.
No, they have a lawyer. They're with a lawyer with you.
Interesting. Well, my family loves me, so. Yeah. I guess I'm not getting. I'm gonna get disowned anyway. The lawyers to get me disowned.
The more time the boys spent together, the clearer it became that remorse was absent.
I was arrested on my grandma's birthday last night. Last night was my grandma's birthday. I got to see her and said happy birthday first. Happy birthday. I got arrested. I already was doing that. I didn't need this to help. Oh my god. Kat's gonna kill me. Why? She freaked out when I didn't answer her for 30 minutes. She had everyone she knew blow up my phone. And she called me like 30 times. And texted me about 100 times.
Brian seemed more concerned about his girlfriend being angry over unanswered texts than the horrific crime he had helped cover up.
I'm ready to die and get slapped about 30 times when I get back to school. Shit.
And you were gonna walk back to campus.
I had online work I had to do. I'm worried about school still graduating, you know.
Yeah, I mean, all the lefties are.
What?
And I'm 12 days, right? I mean, I can't graduate.
It's my senior year. I was supposed to graduate this year.
Their casual conversations revealed just how little they grasped the reality of what they had done. At the juvenile center, Brian's family quickly posted his $100,000 bond, allowing him to finish high school, begin college, and even find work before his trial. Dylan's situation was far different. The court, worried about his history of mental health struggles, denied him bond for 309 days. When it was finally granted, it was set at $200,000, an amount out of reach for his family. Dylan ultimately served 828 days in jail, followed by 10 years of probation. Brian, despite facing the same charge of accessory after the fact to second-degree murder, was sentenced to 14 years of probation, with the first 364 days spent in the Volusia County Jail. Gregory Ramos, however, faced the harshest judgment. Sheriff Mike Chitwood described him as one of the most dangerous sociopaths he had ever encountered. Tried as an adult, Gregory was sentenced to 45 years in prison. His sentence can be reviewed in 25 years, but no matter the outcome, he will remain under lifetime probation. In the end, 3 young lives were permanently altered. But the deepest loss was that of Gail Ramos, a devoted mother whose life was stolen by the very son she had raised, trusted, and loved. Do you believe Gregory truly convinced himself that the murder was self-defense? Or was it just another manipulation? Should Dylan and Brian have faced harsher sentences for helping cover up such a brutal crime? This case is one of the most chilling reminders of how darkness can emerge where it's least expected, inside a family home. What do you think justice truly looks like in a case like this? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more cases that uncover the darkest sides of human nature.